Maya Thompson never forgot the sound of her mother crying behind closed doors. Not because it was loud, but because her mother always tried so hard to make sure nobody heard it. Growing up in the small town of Greenville, South Carolina, Maya learned early that silence often hid the deepest pain. Their little white house sat at the end of a dusty road surrounded by dying grass and broken dreams. The paint peeled from the walls. Rain leaked through the kitchen ceiling every winter, and the electricity got disconnected so many times that Maya stopped being afraid of the dark by the age of 9. Still, her mother Elena tried. God knew she tried. Every morning Elena woke before sunrise to clean rooms at the Pinewood Motel before rushing to her second job at a diner near Highway 23. By the time she returned home at night, her feet were swollen, her eyes red, and her voice exhausted. But she always smiled at Maya. Education, she would whisper while kissing her daughter's forehead, is the one thing nobody can steal from you. Maya believed her. She studied harder than everyone in school, while other teenagers spent weekends partying. Maya worked at the public library organizing shelves for extra cash. She skipped prom, skipped vacations, skipped everything that cost money, because she had one dream: Harvard Law School. People laughed whenever she said it out loud. A poor girl from Greenville dreaming about Harvard sounded ridiculous to most people, especially to her aunt Denise. Denise was Elena's older sister, and according to Denise, she was the reason the family survived at all. She constantly reminded everyone that she once helped Elena after Maya's father abandoned them. What she never mentioned was how temporary that help really was. Denise lived like a woman desperate to look wealthy. Fake designer bags, fake smiles, fake generosity. She drove a leased Mercedes she could barely afford and spent hours posting glamorous photos online pretending her life was perfect. But behind closed doors, Denise was drowning in debt, credit cards, loans, shopping addictions. And now, her daughter Brianna was getting married. The wedding Denise planned looked less like a ceremony and more like a royal event. A lakeside venue, imported flowers, diamond-themed invitations, a horse-drawn carriage, and a guest list full of people Denise desperately wanted to impress. The problem? She couldn't afford any of it, not even close. But Denise had spent her whole life pretending appearances mattered more than honesty. And desperate people often make dangerous decisions. One hot July evening, Maya rushed into the house holding a large white envelope in trembling hands. "Mom!" she screamed. Elena nearly dropped the spaghetti pot on the stove. "What happened?" Maya's eyes filled with tears. "I got in." Elena froze. "For real?" Maya nodded rapidly. "Harvard accepted me." The kitchen exploded with emotion. Elena cried openly this time, wrapping her daughter in the tightest hug imaginable. "My baby," she whispered repeatedly. "My baby did it." For the first time in years, hope filled the tiny house. 3 weeks later, another letter arrived. Financial aid approval, scholarships, student grants, and one final amount still needed before enrollment: $23,000. It was enormous, but not impossible. Over the years, Elena had secretly saved every extra dollar she could. Tips from the diner, holiday bonuses, birthday money, tax refunds, everything. The money sat inside a locked savings account Elena protected like treasure. Because to her, it was treasure. It was Maya's future. "Elena," Denise said one afternoon while sitting in their kitchen, "you should be proud." "I am." "Harvard." Denise smiled thinly. "Imagine that." Maya noticed a strange look in her aunt's eyes. Not happiness, not pride. Something darker: jealousy. Brianna had barely passed community college classes before dropping out entirely. Meanwhile, Maya, the daughter of the poor sister, was heading to one of the greatest universities in America. Denise hated that. "You know," Denise continued casually, "Brianna's wedding is in 3 weeks. Elena smiled politely. "Yes, we're a little short on final payments." Maya instantly stiffened. Here we go again. Denise always needed money. Always. "How much?" Elena asked carefully. "Only 8,000. Elena nearly choked. "Denise, I don't have that kind of money." Denise looked offended. "You do now." Silence filled the room. Maya's stomach twisted. The audacity shocked even her. "That money is for Maya's tuition," Elena said quietly. "It's temporary," Denise replied quickly. "I'll pay it back after the wedding." Maya almost laughed. Everyone knew Denise never paid anyone back. Ever. "Elena," Denise continued dramatically, This wedding is important. People already booked flights. The venue is paid for. If I can't finish payments, everything collapses. I'm sorry. You're choosing a school over your own family? No, Elena said firmly. I'm choosing my daughter's future. Denise's face hardened instantly. For a moment her mask slipped, and Maya finally saw the bitterness underneath. The next 2 weeks became tense. Denise stopped calling, stopped visiting. At family gatherings she ignored Elena completely. Then came Brianna's bridal shower. Maya didn't even want to attend, but her mother insisted. Family is family, Elena sighed. The event looked absurdly expensive. Crystal decorations, luxury catering, designer dresses, women taking endless photos for social media. Maya overheard guests praising Denise. She's such an amazing mother. She really outdid herself. This wedding must cost a fortune. Denise smiled proudly while soaking in the attention. Then she spotted Maya. Well, look who came, Denise announced loudly enough for nearby guests to hear. Maya forced a smile. Hi, Aunt Denise. You know, Denise continued, sipping champagne. Some people think education makes them better than everyone else. The room became awkwardly quiet. Elena stepped forward immediately. Denise, no, it's fine. Denise interrupted. I just think family should come first. Maya stared directly into her aunt's eyes. And I think stealing someone's future for a party is selfish. Gasps spread around the room. Denise's smile vanished. You ungrateful little girl. Maya grabbed her mother's hand. Let's go. As they left, Maya heard Denise mutter something chilling. You'll regret embarrassing me. 3 days later, Elena discovered the savings account was empty. Every cent gone. $23,000 vanished. Maya watched her mother stare blankly at the bank statement, like her soul had left her body. There must be a mistake, Elena whispered. But there wasn't. Someone had withdrawn the funds in person using Elena's identity and authorization forms. The bank showed security footage, and the moment Maya saw it, her blood turned cold. And Denise, wearing sunglasses and a hat, but unmistakably Denise. Elena collapsed into a chair. No, she stole it, Maya whispered. The betrayal hit harder than either expected. This wasn't just money. It was years of sacrifice, years of pain, years of dreams, gone. And Denise had stolen it for flowers, catering, and a wedding nobody would remember in 5 years. We're calling the police, Maya said immediately. But Elena hesitated. It's my sister. She robbed you. Tears streamed down Elena's face. I know. Denise denied everything. Of course she did. When confronted, she acted outraged. How dare you accuse me? We have footage. Maya snapped. That footage is blurry. It's you. Denise crossed her arms. You think I'd steal from family? Maya nearly exploded. Yes. Brianna entered the room mid-argument. What's happening? Your mother stole my tuition money. Brianna's face paled. Mom? Denise quickly shifted tactics. They're trying to ruin your wedding. Denise, Elena whispered weakly. Please, just return the money. I don't have it anymore. The room went silent. Maya felt physically sick. You spent it already? Denise looked away. Deposits, decorations, luxury reservations. Gone. All gone. You ruined my future for a wedding? Maya asked quietly. Denise snapped. It's just a school. It's Harvard. So what? You think you're better than us now? And there it was. The truth. Jealousy. Pure and ugly. Denise couldn't stand seeing Maya succeed where her own daughter failed, so she destroyed the opportunity entirely. The police investigation began the next morning. Family members took sides immediately. Some defended Elena and Maya. Others claimed they were overreacting. It's still family. She probably meant to repay it. You don't send your sister to jail. Maya learned something important during those weeks. People will excuse evil when it comes wearing familiar faces. Harvard sent deadline reminders. Without payment, Maya would lose her admission. Every email felt like a knife. She stopped sleeping, stopped eating properly. One evening she sat outside on the porch while rain poured from the sky. I failed you, Elena whispered beside her. Maya immediately shook her head. No, I should have protected the money better. You worked your whole life for me. Elena broke down completely. I just wanted you to escape this place. Maya hugged her mother tightly, and for the first time since childhood, she cried too. Meanwhile, Denise continued preparing for the wedding like nothing happened. Social media posts, cake tastings, dress fittings, fake smiles. But rumors spread fast in Greenville. People whispered, especially after detectives questioned wedding vendors. Soon guests started canceling. Sponsors pulled out. Even Brianna began asking uncomfortable questions. Mom, did you really take the money? Denise avoided eye contact. It was temporary. You spent her college fund on my wedding? You deserved a beautiful wedding. Brianna stared at her mother in horror. No, she whispered. You wanted attention. That sentence shattered Denise more than any police investigation. Because deep down, she knew it was true. A week before the wedding, Maya received devastating news. Harvard revoked her enrollment due to unpaid tuition deadlines. The email felt unreal. She read it 5 times, then handed the phone silently to her mother. Elena made a sound Maya had never heard before. Even customers from Elena's diner job. What's this? Elena asked, confused. Mr. Whitaker smiled gently. People heard what happened. Maya frowned. So, he handed her an envelope. Inside was a cashier's check. $30,000. Maya nearly dropped it. What? We started a fundraiser, he explained softly. Turns out this town believes in you. Maya burst into tears instantly. So did Elena. One by one, people stepped forward sharing stories. She tutored my son for free. She helped me apply for college. She stayed late at the library helping students. She deserves this chance. For the first time since the theft, hope returned. But the story didn't end there, because karma had finally reached Denise. The wedding day arrived under dark storm clouds. Literally, heavy rain destroyed the outdoor venue setup. Half the guests never came. Vendors demanded unpaid balances. And right before the ceremony, police officers arrived. In front of everyone, Detective Harris approached calmly. Denise Carter? Her face turned white. You're under arrest for fraud, identity theft, and felony theft. Gasps spread across the ballroom. Phones appeared instantly. People recorded everything. Brianna started crying. Guests whispered. And Denise looked directly at Maya across the room. Hatred burned in her eyes. This is your fault, she hissed. Maya answered quietly. No, this is yours. The officers escorted Denise away in handcuffs while thunder echoed outside. The wedding never happened. 3 months later, Maya stood on Harvard's campus wearing a crimson sweater and holding her mother's hand. Students hurried across the yard carrying books and coffee cups. The air smelled like autumn leaves and possibility. Elena looked around in awe. You really made it. Maya smiled softly. We made it. That night in her dorm room, Maya opened a small package her mother handed her. Inside sat an old photograph. A younger Elena holding baby Maya outside their broken house. On the back, Elena had written, no matter how hard life becomes, never let bitter people steal your future. Maya stared at the words for a long moment, then carefully taped the photo above her desk, because she finally understood something important. Some people will destroy your dreams simply because they never chased their own. And sometimes, family can wound you deeper than strangers ever could. But resilience is louder than betrayal. Denise eventually accepted a plea deal. 3 years in prison, financial restitution, community service. But prison punished her less than reality already had. Her reputation disappeared. Friends vanished. Social media followers moved on. And Brianna stopped speaking to her entirely. One afternoon during winter break, Maya visited Brianna at a small coffee shop in Atlanta. Brianna looked exhausted. Older somehow. I'm sorry, she whispered immediately. Maya stayed silent. I didn't know she'd actually steal it. I believe you. Brianna wiped tears from her eyes. She cared more about appearances than people. Maya nodded slowly. I know. You know the worst part. What? She still thinks she was justified. That didn't surprise Maya at all. Some people spend their entire lives protecting their ego instead of facing their ugliness. Years passed. Maya graduated top of her class, then law school, then became one of the youngest attorneys hired by a prestigious New York firm. Her story spread online after an interview, highlighted how a community helped her recover from family betrayal. Scholarship organizations contacted her, talk shows invited her, publishers offered book deals. But Maya never forgot Greenville, never forgot the tiny house, never forgot the sacrifices. And she definitely never forgot the theft that nearly destroyed everything. At 32, Maya created the Thompson Future Fund, a nonprofit organization helping low-income students protect and access educational opportunities. Every year, she personally mentored girls whose dreams seemed impossible. One evening after a scholarship event, a nervous teenager approached her. Maya says people like us don't belong in places like Harvard. Maya smiled gently. People told me that too. What did you do? Maya looked upward thoughtfully. I stopped listening. Meanwhile, Elena finally found peace. Maya bought her a beautiful home near Charleston overlooking the water. For the first time in decades, Elena rested. No double shifts, no leaking roofs, no fear, just peace. Sometimes they sat together on the porch drinking tea while watching sunsets. And every single time, Elena smiled with pride. Not because Maya became successful, but because bitterness never turned her cruel. Because despite everything Denise did, Maya remained kind. One rainy afternoon years later, Maya received a letter from prison. Denise. She almost threw it away unopened, but curiosity won. Inside, Denise wrote, I spent years blaming everyone else for my failures. I hated seeing you succeed because it reminded me of everything I wasted in my own life. I don't expect forgiveness, but I needed to finally tell the truth. Maya read the letter twice, then folded it carefully. Elena looked at her nervously. What did she say? The truth. And Maya stared quietly at the ocean. She learned it too late. Some wounds never fully disappear, but they stop controlling you. That was the lesson Maya carried forever. Not everyone celebrating with you wants you to win. Not every smiling face is happy for your success. And sometimes the people closest to you become the ones who test your strength the most. But if you keep going, if you refuse bitterness, if you protect your dreams despite betrayal, life has a strange way of rewarding resilience. And somewhere far away in a prison cell, Denise finally understood something Maya learned long ago. A beautiful wedding lasts one day, but stealing someone's future can haunt you forever.